welcome back to Shy Shenanigans. I'm Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. So today is something I should have probably done months ago. We started the Great Stashdown in September, and I've been meaning to make an update video for a really long time. But here it is now. So our December State of the Stash is going to be more of like a hey guys, I'm sorry. So also another I'm sorry, I'm sick. So I'm gonna sound really weird, and this won't be a super long video because I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to talk because I only have like one nostril that I can breathe out of right now. Yeah, that's where we're at. And like I took a Benadryl earlier, and I'm still just like, ugh. But I wanted to get this out for you guys. Also, we have a special guest wandering around today in the studio. It's Tori. She's very cute. She's gonna hang out with us. She might knock the phone over. It's what she does. So what I've got today, basically, I have not used more yarn than what I purchased, and I did purchase yarn. It happened. Mostly what I bought was yarn to make chubby cat plushies, because a couple of my friends found the same pattern and they were like, hey, can you make us cats? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that looks like a fun pattern. So I bought some yarn for that. It's mostly back here in this rack, which we'll talk about. So I got like this, which I think will make a really cute cat. It's a baby blanket dappled in cappuccino. I also got, we're just gonna put that on the ground. Bernat baby blanket speckle in cream, which will make a cute cat. And then I got one that's not over here. It's over there, and I'm not gonna go get it, but it's like a darker one. And I got Tart. Stop licking the box. Bernat blanket tweeds. And woodland tweed that I think will make a really cute kitty. So I got some yarn for cats. I have every intention to make the cats. We'll get there. I definitely lost my Crojo even more after starting the Stashdown, which was kind of weird. I don't think it had anything to do with the Stashdown, to be honest. I think it had everything to do with I had other things going on in my life, and yeah, crocheting was not, it wasn't the priority. So I didn't get a whole lot of things made after we started the Stashdown, which is a big part of why we have more yarn than when we started. But I am getting that motivation back, so I don't think that's going to be a problem going forward. I even did a couple rows on my giant Appa plushie today, so that's really promising. So with that being said, focusing next year, 2025, the plan is going to be to really focus on using the yarn from this wire rack I set up next to my desk. It's a much smaller space. It's got just like 8 cubes of yarn that I can put in there for projects that I have mostly planned out, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem or too overwhelming. I found that while I love looking at my stash yarn and like my yarn wall, and that's basically what it's become, it brings me joy, but it also brings me stress. Like looking at it, I get really inspired, but I also get really overwhelmed. And I think a lot of us have probably experienced that with our craft stashes and craft hoards, that we really love it and it brings us joy. I mean, there's a reason why we bought all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's too much, almost. Like, you you look at it and you're like, oh, I could do this and I could do that, or I could make these or that, and then you're like, I don't know where to start, and then you just leave. And that's what happens to me. So there is still a yarn wall back there, but it's mostly background beauty right now. What I'm going to focus on in 2025 is pulling and using yarn from here. And then like once a cubby is empty, I can reevaluate and pull yarn from the stash to put in the cube so that it's slowly dwindling the stash without making me feel overwhelmed. Because I found actually, so let's backtrack a bit. I moved my desk, computer, and laser back here and created kind of like a work studio for Shire Shenanigans. If you guys didn't know, I do have an Etsy shop also where I make and sell wood engraved and cut needle minders and cover minders for like cross stitching and diamond painting. I also sell my plushies, the ones that I get made. There's a couple of them still up in the shop too, and as with every video, that is linked in the description box below if you ever want to look. But I moved that all back here so that I could have an office studio space. And to do that, I had to actually box up a bunch of my yarn because it was just taking up too much room. And I ended up filling 5 of those like 27-gallon Costco tubs, like the black and yellow ones. That's a lot of yarn, you guys. That's over 100 gallons of yarn. Which was very eye-opening, and I think the fact that after doing that there's still yarn on the floor was very sobering. It was a big eye-opener for like, wow, you've got a lot of yarn and we should do something about that. So I'm gonna really buckle down on the Stashdown in 2025. I don't know about you, but the new year always kind of pumps me up for goals and stuff. Like I'll have a video probably Friday about goals and stuff that I'm gonna set for the new year. And definitely dwindling the stash down is going to be one of them. I think one of my major goals is going to be, honestly, I would like to have no tubs of yarn. I would like my stash neatly displayed and usable, but that's probably realistically 2 or 3 years down the road at least. But this year I want to focus on getting at least one of those tubs emptied. I might end up having to refill it if I want to empty some of these other cubbies, but I think it's a doable goal to get at least one of them done. I actually know one of those tubs has yarn in it to make a bunch of like Bluey and Bingo plushies, and I do want to get those made. I have friends that wanted them, that requested them, and I got in too deep and I didn't get them done. So that is good. I'll talk about that in the planning video. Yeah, but in the meantime, for like this, we're gonna go back to not ordering or purchasing yarn, except we will put an asterisk there, except for when it's needed for a custom order. So for instance, I'm doing a custom for a friend right now, and it requires cotton yarn in a weight that I don't have, so I did have to order it. I do believe that the doll is going to use most of it, which is nice, so a lot of it's not going to go into stash. And I don't feel as bad about ordering that. I don't want to order yarn this year or purchase yarn from shops this year that I don't have plans for. I think that really needs to stop. I think that is a big part of why we're in this now. Because I, like probably a lot of you, see those big yarn sales from Joann's and Michael's, and I'm like, oh my god, time to stock up. No, girl, we don't need to stock up. We've already stocked up. We need to stock down. And then I'm really gonna focus on finishing whips. So I moved a cart into my living space, like by our couch, that's got a couple projects on it that I plan to knock out. One of them being my giant appa, which I'll talk about more in future videos, but I think doing it that way, then I can just grab the project, get a couple rows in while I'm watching a movie with the family, or while Ren is doing what Ren does, and knock a couple of those projects out this year. And then I can kind of start filtering in other projects to kind of start dwindling down all of the stuff back here. That's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah, and then like just kind of, I guess, a peek at this rack. Since we're here, I'm sitting on the floor in front of it, we might as well. So I've got all of these. These ones right here, I do have a plan for. I think this will be a decent color palette to make some pancake stingrays. I got the pattern from Teresa Crochets, for a friend who requested it, and I think I can probably get a couple of them out of this yarn. So I might have some of those up in the shop here pretty soon. And I don't have a plan for these guys, but we'll get there. I need to sit down and have like a planning session. Maybe with you, but maybe also on my own, we'll see. Up here, I've got a bunch. Let's see if I can get it down without like knocking it onto myself. This is a whip, actually, so it's a temperature snake that it's been a whip for a long time. It's a project that I started doing for my son to have a snake of like the temperatures in his first year of life. If you guys want to know a comparison, he turns 3 in April. It's been a whip for a while. That one definitely needs to get done this year. And this tub up here, I'm not going to show you because I don't know who all watches these videos. This contains gifts for some friends, and I'm on the border of the last one. So that should be able to get wrapped up this year. It will get wrapped up this year. We're just gonna say that. I've got a couple skeins in here for Appa, just because they didn't all fit. So like, these ones are for Appa's body, because he's huge and he's gonna take a lot. I got a couple random skeins in here. Like, this will probably become more axolotl keychains, so those will come back to the shop for a little bit. I was considering making other color axolotl keychains. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea. I mean, they don't obviously come in pink and blue or pink and... That's purple. It's the Benadryl. It had purple and blue normally, but I think it would be cute. Let me know if I'm crazy in the comments. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And like, I've got a couple other skates down here at the bottom that I don't really have plans for yet, but we'll get there. Mostly right now, this is a lot of yarn that I know I'll be able to use up fairly quickly once I sit down and look at it and remember what it was purchased for. Like, there's some of that worsted that I purchased to make a blanket for. I just need to refine the pattern and get the yarn back together. It was together, and then my son happened, and now it's not together. It happens. And then there's like this that didn't fit in there. This will get finished this year. It's supposed to be a little banana friend. He's got like eyes and stuff that I need to get on him, and very cute. I don't remember why I abandoned it. I think it's because I got to the sewing part and my brain just shuts down when I get to the sewing part of amigurumi because I ate it. I keep it in this cute little sloth bowl. I love yarn bowls. Anyway, so that'll get done too. On my desk now in the studio, I do have part of it devoted to crochet so that I can refocus and get more of that done. So you guys will probably see more plushies in the shop this year as we get more serious about this stash down. Yeah, but that's mostly the update I've got for you guys today. More of a accountability update. Hey guys, I didn't do so great, but we're gonna get better. I didn't actually fill anything out in the journal this year. I did use some yarn, but me being me, I didn't write it down. So part of my planning session is going to be to start filling in the pages with the whips that I currently have, so that as those are finished, I can record what yarn was used and have some better data and stats for you guys in our next State of the Stash Down, which should, hold me to it, should be near the end of January, and I'm hoping to have more positive updates for you guys by then. As always though, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and if you didn't like it, you could also give me a thumbs up. And in the comments below, I'd love to know, what do you think of multicolored axolotls? Yay or nay? And if you want to keep up with this State of the Stash Down journey and all of my other crafty shenanigans here on YouTube, you hit that subscribe button. YouTube will let you know when I post another video. Until next time, guys, I love you. Bye.